video on some of the little psychology stuff. I like doing the psychology stuff because it's not it's not something that you see a lot in self-defense. Most self-defense instructors want to teach you how to punch and kick, and in reality, once you get to the point of punching and kicking, it's pretty much a lost fight. It's not so much that the techniques used in self-defense aren't applicable to self-defense, it's that there's a whole realm of other things that happens after the altercation, part of which is legal issues, part of which is dealing with injuries and stuff like that. So it's best to either de-escalate the violence or to control the person mentally through verbal controls, or to avoid altercation or the danger altogether. In respect to that, there's essentially three types of violence. Social violence, which is what I refer to as a fight. Social violence is basically a pissing contest. It's when a person uses violence with the threat of violence to dominate or control a situation. This is no different than combat sports, where a boxer or a karateka or a mixed martial artist or whoever is trying to dominate their sport, so they're competing to dominate their sport. Social violence is essentially competition, even if it's not regulated as a sports competition. Beyond that, we go into criminal violence, which is what I call a self-defense situation. Criminal violence is when I'm trying to use violence or the threat of violence to take something from you. A bully stealing your lunch money is technically criminal violence, and arguably can justify a child in defending themselves from criminal violence. Then you have asocial or combative violence. Asocial or combative violence is what I refer to as a street fight. The goal of asocial or criminal violence is that both parties are trying to, they're not trying to fight for the sake of ego, or they're not trying to fight for the sake of I want to take something from you. They're fighting for the destruction of the other party. This is where, one person decides, hey, I want to go out and kill somebody because I want to be a badass, or because I'm an anarchist, or a gang member, or I'm high on PCP or whatever. And the other person only has one response to this. They cannot de-escalate this person down because of their high level of intent to use violence, so they have to respond in kind in order to survive the altercation. A lot of people don't quite understand this. And when I'm getting into this is the purpose of this video. This video is talking about, the build of the bad guy, the criminal or your attacker. There's stages, there's evolutions that these people go through that makes them the way they are. So this video is going to be really short, but it's going to deal with that aspect. And it's going to give you a little bit of leeway into the mindset of what you're dealing with. While people are up here talking about, self-defense techniques and this method versus that method or whatever, I'm trying to put you in that mindset to think, because it's not that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu isn't good for self-defense, it's that competition in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu focuses you only on certain techniques and certain methods, which helps to take your mind off of the aspect of applying Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for self-defense. And you can apply this to any martial art, karate, judo, aikido, various styles of kung fu, whatever you want to get into. Even into self-defense combatives, a lot of them that are technique-based miss this element. You can apply this element to them to make them more functional for what happens in the street. So, towards the point of this will give you an idea to gauge or to apply the psychology of a lot of self-defense avoidance and de-escalation practices against other people.